It's still TMI Monday, and our conversation is on recent developments, particularly with the use of plate numbers, use of vehicles without plate numbers, that is, using vehicles that are unregistered, which, of course, you and I know is against the laws of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. But it's a very, very common trend in our society. Just last week, the State Traffic Management Agency had to come to the rescue, and I understand that from the exercise carried out last week, some victims or some culprits have been arrested, vehicles impounded, and the exercise is bound to continue. We hope Dennis Oloriegbe, who is the Managing Director of Edo State Traffic Management Agency, will be able to contribute to this discussion via telephone as we get along. We've made efforts to reach him. Perhaps he's pretty busy with some other things, but hopefully it will get to us and then we can get this conversation on. But I have with me in the studio a media consultant and there's also a public affairs commentator, Marcus Okwebo. Marcus, thank you for joining us on the program.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to have you. It's been a while.
Yeah, it has been a while.
Okay. This has become a trend in the society where people drive cars that are unregistered, that are without number plates. In some cases, you just have the brand name of the car
the brand,
as the number plate, so to speak. And then they drive around. If they were driving around normally, perhaps it would not have cause for concern. But many times, these guys are reckless on the road.
Reckless.
Yes. What has been your observation so far?
Well, it has been really, really terrible. I've seen cars drive without plate numbers. When I was growing up, and many years ago, I used to believe even when these cars are out for sales, the dealers has their plate tag on it.
Okay.
And it's expected for them to use that plate tag to drive these cars around in case they want to sell their product, based on the fact that some buyers will probably say, bring the car to me. So you use the dealer's number. And like what it was in those days, if I don't know if that laws still exist now, because somehow I see some laws that were existing many years ago, and suddenly, without any arrangement that these laws have been edited or omitted or somehow reproduced through the back door, one way or the other, we just see a lot of things changing. The youth of these days just believe that we are now living in a lawless society where anything can happen. You see, you just drive cars without plate numbers and you enjoy to do so. You drive one way and in fact you are even insulting those who are on their right path. So it is a funny world. It has been a crazy thing. And I'm even surprised that the government needed to come this late. I was expecting this to have happened long ago, especially even before the festive period of December. There were a lot of things. Guys just come into town, you drive cars around the whole place. In the night they are driving. Let's not look at just the plate numbers on the car. Maybe the plate numbers verify the cars or the rest of them. Are we looking at the security risk of
involved with
driving cars driving around without plate numbers? In case that somebody commits any crime with that particular car, how are you going to identify that particular car? I have an incident that happened close to my house. A child of 5 years was coming from school, and that child was knocked down completely in front of the mother. And that child died. Instantly died. So the only thing, because everybody was rushing to help the child and try to take the child to the hospital, nobody was able to do anything or hold on to the driver. The driver was inside the car for a very long time while they were dragging the little boy out of the car. The only description the mother and everybody that participated in this rescue could give is that the car is a black Mercedes car without a plate number, tinted glasses.
So you probably can't even see the person inside the car.
They said you can just see a little of
a glimpse of the person inside the car.
He drove up. And he drove up. Till this time I'm talking to you now, the person never came back to that scene to try to locate the parents. Maybe some person said out of shock, out of fear that he might be attacked, that was why he left. But he never returned back. Almost now, who are you to blame? So that is the question, because the system need to, because that little boy just died because the system refused to do what they need to do. It is the job of the system to correct these things. You don't allow this guy drive around town without plate numbers. and they drive one way. Sometimes they even hold parties on the road. If I'm saying this, it sounds funny, but it is the truth.
No, it's happening.
They hold party on the road.
Yeah.
They just drive both of them together on the same side. They meet up themselves at the junction and they stay there. They roll down their glasses. They start turning Hennessy from
from the one on this side and the other side.
And
Yeah.
they're turning.
Yeah.
The ladies that are in their cars with them comes down from the car and they are dancing and somebody's playing music. And the other people who are doing their legitimate job are not looking for ways to
avoid them,
navigate
look for alternative routes.
their way back
Yeah.
home. And why these guys are just doing this?
Yeah.
Are we really living in a lawless society?
Of course, we're living in a lawless society. That's what it is. Praise, yeah.
Well, when you won't blame these guys. I've seen cases where police on the road, to be precise, along this Sapele Road axis, instead of checkmating these guys, all they do is anything for us. So in such case, what should we do? When you have law enforcement agencies
Aiding and abetting, that's what you're saying?
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
So what in this case, what should we do?
It's a really, really sad situation because I think our society has developed or revolted into a kind of society that I don't understand. I remember those days when I was growing up. I used to follow my dad to the village. When a child buys a product or buys a car or buys a machine or a bicycle, he takes it to the elders to pray for him. And the elders will call the father and call everybody to ask
the child
where he got the
money.
He got the money
what
from.
Does he do
and
for
the child will start explaining where he got the money from. And if they cannot understand, if they seem to feel that there's a fraudulent way of getting this money, the elders will not pray. They will say, we are not praying for this vehicle. Because they'll start asking you questions. You just started doing this job, and Mr. Okosu has been doing this for quite some time, and he has not bought a car. How come you are now? No, they start asking these questions. No, not this one. They start asking different questions. But unfortunately, nothing like that is happening today. How can a 15-year-old, a 16-year-old walk into a car stand and decide to buy a car, purchase a car, without even going for for driving
driving
school to learn how to drive and to even know the signs of the road. So when they meet a sign in a street where you're supposed to run maybe about 20 kilometers per hour, they are doing about 80, 100, and they don't even know. They don't even understand. They just do this thing because the system is not functioning. We need to do something about the system. We have to let our youth know that as they are growing up, that there are laws in this country. And we should use the laws to safeguard our society. We are not saving the society. If we continue like this, I don't know what it will be. I don't know the type of system that we are looking forward to. Where the youth, they just do whatever they want to do. They go to places, a 15-year-old has an opportunity to open a bank account, and at the end of the day, he's having close to about 100 million naira inside that account, and he's about 15 years old. And nobody inside the bank is asking questions, and the person is transferring money close to about 50 million naira to buy a car. Nobody's asking questions. Then the hotels are all occupied in Benin City. Somebody's paying for 2 years, and probably will visit the hotel just only 2 days in that 2 years, and nobody's asking questions. These little things that we are not asking questions about now, these little things that are just growing up gradually, and nobody's talking, to get to a point, it becomes a tree. When it becomes a tree, maybe gets to the point that becomes an iroko where ass cannot cut it down anymore. This is the time to.
This unregistered vehicle, let's narrow it down. It's common with Yahoo boys.
Absolutely.
Let's
be very specific.
Let's be specific.
It is.
Someone who is working legitimately, what they do is to get their car in legitimate way, go to driving schools. So let's be frank.
Yes, it is.
Let's be frank.
It is
common with young boys.